Hi everyone, it's Miss Rossi. Today we are going to create a parody of the American Gothic. What you will be needing today is a white piece of paper. There should be one labeled American Gothic in your art folder that you can use. We're also going to need a pencil and an eraser. You can take the label off your paper because we won't be needing that. Today we are going to sketch out our parody version of the American Gothic, so you can choose how you would like to parody this artwork. You can decide if you would like to change the two characters in the painting by adding in a different duo of people in their place. This could be another iconic pair from a video game, a TV show, a book, a movie. You can decide if you want to parody the American Gothic by adding details to the original to make it different, to make it funny. Now, we looked at all the different examples of how to create a parody and different ways you can do that, so it's totally up to you how you want to design your picture. Now, we do want it to have some elements from the original American Gothic so that it is recognizable, so the positioning or even like that window in the back of the house, those kinds of things you want to keep the same, just so that it is still recognizable as the original painting. Now, for my parody version today, I am going to draw Spongebob and Patrick in place of the artist's dentist and his sister that were in the original painting. So I'm going to have Patrick on one side and SpongeBob on the other. I'm going to keep the clothing the same, and I think I'm going to have them still holding a pitchfork, and I'm going to keep the house in the background, but I think in the sky I'm going to add that floral design that they have in the sky on SpongeBob too. So depending on what you are doing for your parody, I think it's easiest to start with your characters first, just so you can get the basis of the layout for your picture. You're going to want to hold your paper so it is tallest going up and down, portrait style, so you have enough room to draw your people and the background. So with my pencil, I'm just going to go in and sketch out my whole design. Now I'm going to go slowly and walk you through it, but you're probably drawing something different than me to create your own parody. So your steps and your sketch is going to look a little bit different. So I'm going to start by sketching Patrick on one half of my paper. Now I want his head to go up a little past the middle of my paper so that I have enough room in the background to draw the house. So this is where the top of his head is going to hit, and he's going to be a little bit taller than SpongeBob. So if I have this basis line, that's going to give me plenty of space in the background to add the rest of the details that I need. So from this line, I'm going to start to sketch out Patrick's body. Now he is a starfish, so he has a tall and pointy head and a larger body with all of his arms. Now I don't think I'm going to be able to see his arms today, so I'm just going to draw a big curve shape coming down, and that should be good for him. His head is a little bit longer, so I'm going to sketch that out a little bit better. And now I am using short and quick light pencil lines to create my sketch, so I can easily change it and erase different lines that I don't think look correct to reshape my picture. We always want to draw super lightly so that it is easier in case we make a mistake. And now it might be easiest for you to pull up a photo on your computer to see what your characters look like, and that could help you draw them a little bit better. Now that I have Patrick's general shape there, I can add SpongeBob's shape next to him. So I am just going to do the same thing to sketch out where SpongeBob is going to be. Now, like I said before, SpongeBob is a little bit shorter than Patrick. He is a square shape. So I am just going to draw him as a big old square. And a little characteristic about SpongeBob's shape is he does kind of go in a little bit, like he is wider on the top, very slightly than on the bottom. So as I am sketching out his base shape, I am making him a little bit wider on the top, and then having those lines come in just a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then I'll have plenty of room down at the bottom for their clothes, so I can sketch in the rest of SpongeBob's body. Now in their picture of the original American Gothic, it's a little below the shoulders up. Now for my picture, I want to make sure that I have enough room for their body, I might actually be fitting SpongeBob's legs in here too, because I have extra space. And I can sketch in SpongeBob's arm. And now his one arm is going to be holding that pitchfork, and the other one I'm just going to have going off the page. Alright, that's pretty good to start with. I am going to jump back over to Patrick and start to draw in his face now that I like where both of my characters are. Now Patrick has two big oval eyes. He has a pretty large forehead, so I am starting him down lower towards the bend where his arms are. And they are two very large oval shapes, and his eyes do touch in the center. So I'm just going to keep sketching these shapes until I get two ovals that are the same or close to the same size. That looks pretty good. Patrick has some little scribble line like eyebrows, and he has two big black pupils. Alright, now I can start to see that Patrick is coming to life. I'm going to give SpongeBob and Patrick some straight faces like our picture, so I'm just going to do a straight line going across and two little lines on the sides. And then I'm going to put Patrick in the same clothes as the girl from the American Gothic. So I am just going to do a round neck for the collar. And this is going to start to look a little bit silly now because he's going to be dressed in something that he normally isn't dressed in. So we got the little ruffles along the side, and then we can fill in Patrick's body. And I'm just going to do two curves for his belly coming down like that. I can add in his arms on the underneath, and I think I am done sketching out Patrick. I'm going to leave him that way for now, and if I want to change anything later on, I can go back and do that. Now I'm going to hop back over to my SpongeBob side. I am going to finish up this arm and draw in my pitchfork, and that is just going to be a big rectangle going up. I'm drawing right over the top of Patrick, and then I will erase any of the details from his shirt or his body, and then I can add my pitchfork up here in the space in between the two of them. And a pitchfork is just like a big W-like shape. And then I can draw SpongeBob's hand coming around to hold the pitchfork. Now I'm going to hop back over to SpongeBob. Now I drew SpongeBob as a plain old square, but he does have a wavy border, so I'm just going to go right over the top of my square line with a little wavy line that curves out, and this wavy line is going to go all the way down, even over the top of the pants. And I can gently erase that straight line that I had originally. Now I am going to draw in SpongeBob's face. Now his eyes are really big, and they are two really big circles. So Patrick has big oval eyes, but SpongeBob has these really big circular eyes. And just like Patrick, SpongeBob's eyes do touch in the center. So it is a little bit tricky drawing them to make sure they are going to be the right size and that they are going to touch. So I noticed that first one that I drew was a little too small. So I redrew my next one nice and big. And now I can try and fix them and shift this one over a bit and kind of continuously sketch out that circular shape and shift it and move it until it looks like it's going to be in the right spot. So now I'm reshaping them with my eraser, so I'm taking out all the lines that I know don't look correct, and then I'll end up with the lines that look the best. And then unlike Patrick, SpongeBob actually has an iris because he has blue eyes. And then he has the pupil, that black part. So we're going to draw another big circle in there and then a smaller circle inside that one. And that small one you can color in, but we're going to leave that middle one white because that is going to be blue later on. And SpongeBob has 3 little rectangular eyelashes, one in the center and then those 2 going off towards the sides. And then of course we can't forget SpongeBob's nose. To do his nose, we are looking at him head on, so you wouldn't see it sticking out towards the side. You kind of just see that end of it. So I'm doing a little lowercase n shape that is starting at the base and curving up almost like an oval, and then it's going to curve back down and under. So they're not actually touching where I started and where I ended. Where I ended is hooking under. It's almost like a big lowercase g that isn't connected. All right, we almost have SpongeBob done. SpongeBob is going to get that same mouth like Patrick, and you can add his teeth coming down from there too. And we can start to add the holes on SpongeBob. He always has one bigger hole up here and then a smaller one below it. He's always got one on this side. And he's got those little freckles on both sides of his face too in sets of 3. And we can even do his little chin below his teeth. There we go. Now I can move down to SpongeBob's outfit, which is going to be the same as our American Gothic clothing. Now that man was wearing a blazer-like jacket, so I'm just going to do 2 lines coming down and then draw the collar coming out from there with 2 more diagonal lines. And then underneath the jacket, they had on a button-down shirt with a little round collar. So I'm going to do a curvy line, a straight line, and then they're also wearing overalls. So I'm going to do another straight line going across horizontally, add some buttons on that shirt, and then draw another horizontal line as a detail on our overalls. And that is our SpongeBob and Patrick characters finished, taking over the places of our American Gothic characters. And now I can move up and draw on the background. So we have our house that is going to be in the background, and I want to put the flowers in the sky that are in the sky in the SpongeBob episodes. But I'm going to start by drawing that house, which is just going to be a big triangle at the top. It is going to come out like a rectangle on the sides, and then there is that roof that is coming across. Now I don't want to draw on top of my characters that I just drew, so whenever I'm drawing a line that is going to touch one of them, I am going to stop and jump over them to the other side. So now I'm drawing the roof. It is like a trapezoid shape where it went across like a rectangle, but the side is coming down on a diagonal and going out. We have our big triangle roof coming down, and one of the big features of the American Gothic is that window on that part of the house, so we want to make sure we draw that in there too. So that is our Gothic style window, which is going to be flat along the bottom, and then it's going to come up to a point at the top. And that's a similar style that you see in old cathedrals and things, where it has those points and those arches. And the design inside the window is coming up straight from the middle and then branching out on 2 curves to split up that arch. And then it has a horizontal line going across the center. So now I have my little house in here. I am also going to draw those little flowers that exist in the sky. So I am just going to do that big flower shape, and these are wider as the petals come out and skinnier towards the center. And I'm just going to repeat that shape twice so that I can color in this little inside space to make the flowers. And I'm only going to draw little halves of our flowers in here. Maybe I can fit a small one down there, but otherwise I don't think I'm really going to be able to fit a whole one, especially how big I already drew them. But maybe if you're doing a Star Wars themed American Gothic, maybe you can see the Death Star in the sky or some other ships. If you're doing a Lego American Gothic, maybe your house is made up of Lego bricks instead of looking like the real house. So then when I color this in next time, I will make sure to color in my sky blue like the ocean, and then color my flowers in all different colors. I'm going to add some extra little lines and details on my house like the siding, and then that is going to do it for me today for my American Gothic parody. Now that my sketch is all finished, I'm going to be sure to save this in a safe place so I can work on it next week. Next week we will trace and color in our pictures. So you do not need to hand anything in today, just make sure you save your project until next week. I hope you enjoyed making your own American Gothic parody today. Try your best, have fun, and get creative, and I'll see you soon. Bye!